Hi guys, how are you doing? It's Saturday, 22nd of March, 1845. This is the time right now. Well, guys, I've got some news for you. Um, yeah, I've got some news. What's going on right now is that I have changed my appointment booking system and actually haven't gotten good results out of it. It's just that the volume, well, a couple changes when it comes to. I'm gonna start by fitness. I was getting tired of just bulk eating, because I was eating a lot of food. I was feeling tired, and I was feeling just forcing the machine, the machine cold my stomach. So I just didn't want to continue, and I realized, well, it's not that I realized. I remember that my whole intention when it comes to bulking was to get to 85 kilos, 10% or 8% body fat. That was my whole objective. So yeah, and it's still my objective. It's just that if I want to go to 8% body fat, probably it's not, like, it's probably time right now to go down to 85, because if you want to cut weight realistically, what are you going to cut? 5 kilos, something like that. So I was pretty much on weight, or maybe I could have gotten 1 2 more kilos, but nothing more than that really. But anyway, the thing is that that is the first thing I wanted to do. I just realized I was a 90 like 1 week ago, and I was like, okay, I'm just going down. And ever since, I've not been too consistent with the diet, because I was like, okay, I can't just have fun right now. It's not that I just ate everything. No, I pretty much 80% of the food was still the same. But I was thinking, okay, cool, I'm gonna start cutting weight right now, or in a week, or in a couple of days, something like that. Let me just have some quick fun, and then we get back to the diet. And the thing is that the thing is that I'm finally not gonna cut right now, since I could do it, and it wouldn't take me much time. It wouldn't be too difficult. I know someone I can just guide myself. It's not something that I don't know how to do, because I don't even need to know how to do. I would just pay that one person for him to mentor me. It's just that I just feel right now it's not the best time. I don't want to overcomplicate myself with stuff to do other than business. On the other side, when it comes to relationships, well, to sum up, when it comes to the fitness stuff, I'm just gonna continue the same way I was going. Maybe if I feel that it's being hard for me to eat, maybe I will buy some sauces, just like always. I'll try to have fun with the protein yogurts, so that maybe today is chocolate, tomorrow is vanilla, the next day is strawberry flavor, all that stuff. Just for it not to make it so boring, like natural Greek style protein yogurt, which is like tasteless. But anyway, the other thing is relationships. So right now I've met a Argentinian girl, which is cool. I don't really believe she might type, honestly, but she's cool, and I have a good time with her. So I'm just gonna continue with her. Of course, no commitment. Like, I've already told her I can only focus to my business. So don't expect me to put you much attention. And I've told her because we already had an argument, which is weird. But anyway, the thing is that I'm gonna continue with that. I'm gonna still talk to some girls if I feel like that. I've realized now the importance of being with someone which is your type. Since this Argentinian girl, she's not my type. But honestly, I just have fun. So if you just have fun, let yourself have that fun. But yeah, that's really everything. That's really it. Um, there's another girl in the gym. Well, the Argentinian girl is gym chick. The second one, which is gym as well. This is not closed yet. I'm still working on it. I think there is chances. It just needs a little bit more of time and massaging and work, But there's chances with the second one. I'm not rushing anything, as you guys can imagine, And I'm not just speaking to girls for the sake of speaking to girls. Because, for example, today I saw one girl and I was like, well, I could speak to her, but on the face she ain't really that good, so I'm just not gonna do it right now. I'm very selective because honestly, do you guys think like I I am with this Argentinian girl? She's from the gym as well, and I don't want her to see me with someone else, or someone to tell her that I'm with someone else, or trying to flirt with another girl. His ex is still, he's on that gym. He knows who I am. He knows what I'm doing. If he sees me with some other chick, I know he's telling her because he's such a pussy, honestly. But I'm not just gonna get into it. I just wanted to say that I'm very selective right now. I don't wanna. Also, apart from that, I don't wanna. Guys, it takes attention, to have to handle these leads in the pipeline. It takes attention. So I don't want to be jumping on Instagram for the sake of responding to host messages. It's not something I like because Instagram comes with a lot of distraction. Even if you just get into respond to a message, it's very easy to get hooked. So that's something that I'm trying to avoid right now. So yes, I'm very selective right now. I'm not very actively chasing, honestly, and that's really it. I'm comfortable with that. On the other side, when it comes to business, as you guys know already, I've already said I've changed the way that I book appointments. When it comes to the paid ads, I was using the paid ads. I just blow a lot of money on my last travel to Cape Town, and it just put me on a situation where it just didn't have much sense to invest €1,000 every month on paid ads. It's not that I could not do that, but it was like a little bit of on the danger zone. That's why I opted for not doing it. But um alternatively, I swapped into cold calling. When I was cold calling, I just realized that yes, it's true that I was getting appointment volume, but realistically, how could I say it? I was getting appointment volume, but deep down, I've always known that I could book my appointments like in more qualified ways. That's what I feel. That's what I know, and yeah, I'm just booking calls right now with the Loom system. It's a little bit different because it's not I DM you and I send you Loom. It's not I email you, I send you Loom. It's I cold call you and I send you Loom. Using the leverage that I've actually got cold calling, I'm a cold caller. I'm not a cold emailer, even though I can do that. I'm not a cold DM guy, even though I can do that because at the end of the day, outbound is outbound. But I just felt that it was better to cold call, send the Loom, get them to watch the Loom, get them to like the Loom, and then book an appointment. And apart from that, I'm only calling to people already running Facebook ads, which is something that helps a lot because this is a more aware business owner. He's not just a guy that is the first time that he hears about paid ads, which is not very ideal to be completely honest with you. But yeah, that is it pretty much. There's not much more to say. Right now, my appointment booking ratio is right now at this precise moment is around a 2.5, but I really know that it's gonna be a 4%, a 5%, 6% because really a lot of the calls I do are unqualified business, meaning that when I source leads on the me like on Meta Ads library, a lot of the leads are unqualified. I would even say 30%, something like that. So that means that the appointment booking ratio is actually higher, and I've I've still got appointments to book, and I just can feel that most of the times when I book appointments this way, I do have a little bit more of an advantage because they already the way I structure the VSL is that I break down the system into different features, and I what I do is present a feature, attach the attach the benefit to it, and then to that benefit I look back to the problems that the business owner that can get fuck, I don't know how to explain it. First thing, I show the feature. Second, apart from explaining it, second, that feature I loop it to the desired outcome, and then I loop it to their pain point. This is gonna be good because you will be able to reach this point or to get this, and it's also very useful for businesses that are in this situation, and so on and so on so on. This is the whole VSL. And actually, something very valuable that I'm doing in this VSL is actually educating people, because some guys just don't know how to reach their desired client, and I'm showing them how is it done. So it's something that they value a lot, and the guys that jump on a call with me, they are very interested. And also, apart from that, they are more educated, and apart from that, the show up ratio, like the show up yeah, the show up ratio is about 100%. Not about 100%, it's actually 100%. So that means that when a slot is booked into my calendar, a slot is booked into my calendar. And I'm gonna actually have a sales call, which is super super good, because before I would just have my calendar filled with appointments, sometimes double booking, because I literally just don't know if people are gonna show. And yeah, this unqualified way to book appointments just led to me just losing a lot of time. But this loops back to something that I wanted to say right now. Right now, my agency is doing less money than 3 months ago. Why? Because it's simple. I just had more appointments. It's quite simple. I had more appointments into my calendar because I was just running paid ads, and I was just getting like hundreds of leads every month, and I was getting appointments, and apart from that, I was getting a lot of people to show. Like I was averaging like 60, 65, 70, sometimes 50, between 50 and 70 calls every single month. So that is the thing. Even though my service probably was not that good, I was making more money back then. So that's something that I should put awareness on, to the fact that fill your calendar with appointments. That is the most important thing right now. Sell them high ticket. Get those people to close, and then after that, that is when you actually after that that is when you're actually focusing on improving stuff. But right now, as you guys can imagine, I'm just focused on increasing my appointment volume, which at the end of the day is quite easy. I'm gonna hire 1 2 cold callers. I've already done some interviews on Upwork. I'm gonna keep doing interviews on Upwork, because I just wanna hire people that are good already. I don't want to hire someone that you have to teach them how to be confident, which is not something I like. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am I am increasing my appointment volume. This is exactly what gonna be doing next week. And yeah, apart from the fact that I will have to solve some appointment booking issues, especially when it comes to qualified leads, because if we could just get rid of those unqualified leads on our list, it would be way 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 easier. Saying this because a lot of the leads in my list, they are not remodeling businesses. Maybe they sell furniture, maybe they are plumbers, maybe they are like solar companies or window companies that for some reason mention remodeling or renovation on their copy or something like that, and that is the reason why I get those leads, you know. But they are not really qualified. So if I could just get rid of that 30%, I would. That would make things very easily for like more easy for me. And apart from that, I have to take into account that sometimes I have to manually search the phone numbers to call because they don't just appear, or maybe it is the landline, which realistically I don't really wanna call because most of the times it's just a gatekeeper. But yeah, those are some of the challenges that I'm experiencing right now. But as soon as I start to get more appointments, aka this week is gonna be way easier. I have to say though that last week when I was testing and trying and iterating this cold calling system, I have to say that I wasn't particularly focused, you know, like I just felt that anything could get my attention, which is something not good obviously. But anyway, when it comes to the sales, I'm trying to improve my lead quality as you've seen to make sales easier. But yeah, 2 hours every day, 1 hour to review calls, the other hour to practice your tracks. You know, it's not too complex. You know, when it comes about that. And then the service delivery. These last couple of weeks, I've had some growing experiences. I would just call it with a client which has been a fucking nightmare. You know, and with reason because honestly, I was not at the level. You know, I don't know what exactly happened. They are a different kind of business, a little bit different. They are a little bit different business owners. They do see things differently. They demand things differently, and I just didn't have my service delivery prepared for such requirements. You know, so they just complain a lot. Not every day, but several complaints every day. We had a meeting this Tuesday. They were super angry, super disappointed, super mad at me. But you know, I just um, had to take it to my chin. You know, I had to take it to my chin, make improvements. Had a call with them this Friday, and everything seems to be solved. You know, now it's matter of keeping there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now it's all about. Last thing that I want to say on this video is that I want to make some commitments right now. I'm always talking about commitments, but this time is actually going to be for true because, to be completely honest, the how can I explain this? Look, guys. So to organize my thoughts, at 21, I have a millionaire net worth, basically. And that's why I don't sleep on what is required from me to grow my business, and I always act with speed. this is an affirmation that I've made myself because it's actually true. You, I do think that I'm 24, I'm a millionaire, and I do mean it. And that means that for it to realize there is some things that are required from me. Like realistically, I have to step up. Realistically, I have to move differently. Realistically, I have to do things differently. Realistically, I need to like if I cannot so that you can so that you guys can imagine, I cannot sleep on 10K a month, 25K a month if at 24 I am a millionaire on net worth. That basically means that I need to go like this, you know. That's it. And that means that as well that like and I do want to say I got to 13K a month and then I dropped, you know. Then I dropped because I was focusing on other businesses, and that was not a very intelligent idea. You know, I made a mistake and I have to take it, I have to accept it. But then now I just cannot sleep on the low revenue that I'm making under 10K a month. I cannot sleep on 25K a month. I cannot even sleep at 50K a month. That's it, you know. I need to go to six figures a month, you know, six figures a month. And all of that taking into account that obviously six figures a month doesn't mean six figures in profit, you know. But I might want to get there if at 24 I have to be a millionaire. So that puts me on a urgency point of view, you know. It's not that I have no time or something like that. No, it's not about that. It's just that I just cannot like if you struggle like if your plan is to get to 135 kilos like shredded and you struggle to get to 100 kilos, like yes, it's true that you want to get to 135 in 3 years, but if you struggle to get to 90 or to 100 something like that, you know, are you actually that sure that at in 3 years you're gonna be at 135? Well, that's pretty much it what's going on, you know. That's the reason why right now i'm I'm taking more, I'm putting more attention into this, you know. I'm putting more attention into this because at the end of the day is the fucking truth, you know. You cannot, if your goal is to get to 135, bro, don't sleep going to 90, don't sleep going to 100, because if you sleep going to 100, you're probably going to sleep as well to go to 135, you know. That's my reasoning behind it, you know. So that means that I've got a couple quotes that I like from a video I've seen this week. Success is painful and stagnation is as well. You know, plateauing is painful as well. And at the end of the day, I choose success because the pain is always going to be there. You can choose the hard of being stagnant or choose the hard of being growing and being successful, you know, which at the end of the day, both are painful, you know. One, because you do actions that are outside of your comfort zone, and the second one is because you realize you're conscious that you're on the same point and you're not progressing, you know. Second thing is that I remove the fluff out of my life so I can just focus on the relevant things. I was just about to start to go to MMA as well. I was just about to start to shred. I was approaching a lot of goals on the streets. Maybe not the most intelligent idea, you know. It's not that all of these things were not my objective, you know, but there's always priorities, you know, and money is first, you know. Looking for yourself is always the most important priority, you know. So that's why I stopped approaching girls on the street because it meant that every day I have to spend 1 hour doing that. Apart from that, I I'm not gonna take the time or I'm not gonna start to think about how to shred body fat because I just don't wanna be thinking or I don't wanna be concerned about that. You know, I'm just gonna continue doing the exact same until I wanna cut weight. And the third thing is that I'm proud of the cash collected I've growth. Um, I'm proud of the cash collected growth I've had this 2025 year. This basically means that at the end of the year, I'm gonna be proud of the growth I've had with business. You know, this is basically all it means. So this is important because I think we all have that on a micro or macro scale where you plan things for yourself and you look in you look in retrospection and you realize that you're not going 100%. You know, you're half-assing shit, and you know, not that you're half-assing shit, but you're just not making any growth. And if you're not making any growth, it's because something you're doing wrong. You know. Finally, I picked a couple things that I wanna just give up. You know, I wanna put aside. It's not that they are not important in my life. It's just that they're not a priority right now. Just as when I started business, I got rid of all the relationships. I got rid of like I almost stopped speaking to family. I just got rid of all social media. That was the situation when I started with business. Right now, it's not gonna be the exact same, you know, because it's just not gonna be the exact same. But it's gonna be something similar in a way that I'm gonna start doing things that I do like, but that probably just give me some instant dopamine that I don't really want, or that just stream my attention somewhere that right now doesn't deserve my attention or is not relevant enough to get my attention, you know. So actually, some things that I've wrote down is UFC and MMA. That's something I'm just getting rid of for the next 3 months. I know I always say the next 3 months, but it's not even like, yes, it's for the next 3 months, which I'm getting to 25K a month. You know, once I'm at 25K a month, I believe scaling is gonna be easier when it comes to time, especially because that point you've already got a sales system which is proven, which is converting at a good rate. You know, you've got somewhat of a service delivery, and what you do is to just scale it. You know, if you need to put a couple more closers, then you put them. You know, if you need to triple the appointment booking volume, then you just spend more money into ads, hire more hire more call callers to give you more appointments. That's basically all I'll do. Obviously, with that comes some managing skills that I would have to develop, but I think that the most like the compound effect comes after you're set the foundations. You know, when you're set the foundations, I think it's gonna be easy for you to scale. You know, and get into when it comes about getting to 25, like getting to zero, which I'm not making zero, of course. I'm making somewhere around 5 grand a month. You know, which is not something that I like. And I was saying that. I was saying that when you go to fuck, I just forgot. Going to 0 to 25 is probably the hardest part, you know, because when it comes to going from 25 to 100, I think you have better tools, you're more educated, you'll have more resources to make that happen, you know. So that's basically everything that I'm saying. More things to say, bro. More things to say. Mm, yeah, I'm giving up UFC and MMA. I'm giving up music. I'm giving up the shredding thing. I'm giving up the the speaking to girls and approaching to girls other than in a gym. You know, this means that I give up going out and speaking to girls as an activity. You know, it's not something that I'm gonna force into my routine. You know, if I'm out and I see a good chick, I speak to that. If I'm on the gym and I see a good chick, I speak to that. But it's not something that I'm gonna go out so that I can speak as I would do before. Not anymore. Not anymore. But more things that I'm thinking about now are it's just basically energy leaks. Energy leaks. Like I'm thinking of all of my energy leaks, you know. Yeah. So things I'm giving up is UFC, MMA, music, shredding, speaking to girls other than in my regular routine, and all the energy leaks that I currently have, Pointless browsing sometimes, some of the times Airbnb dopamine, some of the times IG scrolling, even though this is one of the least ones. Some of the times napping during the day, even if it is a 15-minute nap, I need to swap that for a cold shower, which is like 5 minutes instead of 25, or 30 minutes. And it's actually gonna make me not wanna sleep. Like when I do nap is when I am feeling tired, when I'm feeling down on energy, when I'm literally sleeping on my desk, then I took a quick nap, and that's not bad, but I'm just not a fan of it, bro. I'm just not a fan of it. There's just something that I just don't like, It's weird. It's weird. Then not waking up on time because I do go to sleep late, which is my bad because sometimes this week I've been working a little bit longer times, working on the night, or yeah, basically that. And that meant that maybe I would go to sleep, and on my regular wake up time I would be sleeping like 6 hours, which is not ideal. And it's not ideal, it's not impossible, but it's not ideal. So that's why I would snooze the alarm, which is not something I like again, you know. Then cutting my nails where while I'm working, which is not something good because it's just getting distracted, or playing with my AirPods. I get them out of my ear, like ears, then I play with them, I clean them, and then I put it inside, put it outside. It's a little bit of a distraction, All of these I give up to focus on training my team offsetters and multiplying the appointment volume, running qualified paid ads as soon as possible. Apart from that, improving my sales conversion rate and collecting more cash up front, which is going to improve my client result because they are going to be more committed, and then getting to 25K a month, of course, which is the ultimate goal. Of course, 25K a month is not something I'm just going to stay and, you know, confirm with that because honestly, it's not the case. I don't want to make 25K a month. As a minimum, I want to make 50K a month with this business as a minimum, which means 600K a year monthly recurring revenue. Like that's something important. I don't want to just get to 25K a month, 25K a month on MRR, which is something as well very important. But yeah, this is pretty much everything um, that I'm giving up to focus on. And yeah, I'm actually gonna, I'm actually, I wanna keep track of this, and I actually wanna put it on because sometimes it's not the first time that I do this. It's just not the first time that I do this. And I know that it's very easy to forget about all of this stuff. Yeah, essentially that what I was saying is that it's very easy to forget about this. It's not the first time that I make a challenge. Typically what happens is that I just lose sight of why I'm doing things, or I essentially rationalize stop doing the challenge, or I rationalize stop focusing so much because maybe yes, it's true that when I hit 10K a month, it was not particularly the most focused time. It's true as well that at the end of the day it's output. It doesn't matter if it's you that do the output, or it doesn't matter if it is someone else that does the output. The important thing is that the output is achieved. But anyway, consistency, focus is always going to make you easier to generate that output. That's why this time, and also taking into account the expectations of myself, because the expectations, they are what they are. I do know more than enough, because sometimes, bro, sometimes I just be getting into YouTube and I see some YouTubers making 30, 40, 50K a month with agencies that are not any different than mine. Like most of these guys, they just don't have that much different. Like there's nothing that you could really say, hey, this thing. No, like it's just not the case. This thing they do differently, probably just sales, but their services, they're not even that different. I do, that's why I do, that's why it's like, bro, why am I, like, these guys are not, they do not know anything you don't know. So you have more than enough knowledge than you need to be at 50K a month. Right now, I would say the only thing that is separating me from 50K a month might sound a little bit too naive or a little bit too delusional, but honestly, I just think is first lead quality sales, and that's really it. I don't think that my service is that different, and the service thing is probably one of the easiest things to get right, or at least for me right now. My clients need help with sales. My clients need to have the right expectations. Now, when it comes to the expectations, I've improved a lot with this last client that I've had, which forced me to actually structure things, organize things, have a clear workflow when I sign a client, because I've had to create it for them because they were not comfortable with having a clear guide or a clear objective, clear KPIs, clear reports, clear weekly meetings, all of that stuff, without having ads that were aligned with their brand. This last client has served me a lot to improve on all of these data points. As well, I've just gotten feedback from one of my most successful clients, which told me that now we changed the lead quality from Facebook, no, from Google Ads to Facebook Ads, and now he's seeing lead quality difference. I thought it might just be one thing of him, he's good, that's why he's having that much success. But it's not only that he was good, but the lead quality was good. So mm, that means that in order for my clients to have good results, the lead quality has to be good as well, because he went from literally having 75% closing rate all the way down to probably a 10 or 20% closing rate. That's quite significant. That actually means that, well, when I say, well, I thought that lead quality was something I should not be very focused on. Lead quality is not something that is the problem most of the times. Well, I could probably do something better to get better leads. But anyway, he's gotten a lot of cancellations, a lot of no shows. So that actually means that Google Ads made a difference. It generate me more qualified leads. Now, what do you do to handle that? You just use a landing page with a formula, that's, or a survey. That's it. Don't make it super complex. Use a landing page, a formula, survey. Try to make the best ads and get leads. You know, if they get 5 leads a month, 5 appointments a month, it can be better than getting 15. Three of them canceling their appointments, two of them just um, not being interesting, or not doing anything, five of them not having the money, three of them that went with another business of the competition, and finally two of them that might be close. I don't know if these are going to be the numbers, but yeah, lead quality is something that I have to improve. And the best thing is that I know how to do it. But like always, first thing is making sure that the appointment volume is 15 calls every week. That's really everything that I want. 15, 20 calls, 20 calls to actually guarantee that I do 60 calls a month. This is for sure gonna make me first more time, because now I'm actually confident on the fact that if I get one appointment into my calendar, they are most likely gonna show with the funnel that I've got right now. And second, yes, it is essentially gonna be more qualified prospects. But anyway, this is everything that I wanted to explain in this video. I know it's been long ass video, but like always, I had to do some accountability with you guys. It's very useful. Like always, you will have the link in the description to the Drive folder where I put all my videos, or all my um, diaries, all that stuff. And see you on the next one. I am gonna be, uh, I'm gonna be, r- I'm gonna do a daily warm up. Where I can put how focused, like I can check the fact that I've been focused or not, or and the fact that I've not watched UFC, I've not been on Instagram, I've not been, doing this, I've not been taking naps, all this shit, how hard did I work? I'm gonna put a well, actually, the intensity of the work, I'm gonna put a great 1 out of 10, and that's it. That's really everything that I wanted to say on this video. I hope you like it. I'm gonna create everything right now, and see you guys.